Hi, everybody. My name is Maya Tillman, and I'm one of the college advisors that works with the students in the Casey Scholars Program. So, we are here today to learn about nursing and what it's like being a nurse, what it means to be a nurse, and just what that process looks like going from college into the career. So, I will let Miss Murray introduce herself, and we're going to talk a little bit about what made her want to be a nurse.
Hi, everyone. My name is Jamisha Murray. I obtained my BSN at Baker University in Baldwin City, Kansas. Right now, I am a registered nurse at Advent Health, Shawnee Mission, where I work on the progressive care unit.
Awesome. Thank you so much for joining us.
And what made me want to be a nurse? My mother was a very influential person in my life. So she was already in the medical field. So she kind of persuaded me to become a nurse, threw me a lot of resources, had a lot of nursing friends. Also, I grew up with a lot of sick family members, and we at that time then lacked a lot of education about healthcare and the disease processes at that time. So I thought maybe I was like, okay, let's be a nurse. Let's see what this is about. And so far, I love my job. So that's what made me want to become a nurse.
Awesome, awesome. That's great that you love your job and you have like your mom is there and she can kind of guide you with certain things. So, what's your favorite part about being a nurse?
I would definitely have to say my favorite part is every time I work, I learn something new. It's a very growing field. There's always an opportunity to learn something new. I also enjoy seeing my patients progress mentally, physically, emotionally. Um, Sometimes they're on our unit for a long time. We get patients that are really sick, and then just seeing them progress and being able to go home is my favorite thing about nursing.
That's nice. I bet it's really nice to be able to let somebody go home and they're not, super sick anymore. So, in college, did you start out wanting to be a nurse or did you have some major changes in college?
So when I was a freshman, my first major was actually chemistry. And with that, I actually wanted to be a physician assistant. But I had a big change of heart after the first semester. I wasn't doing so well in my classes, decided I need a change. Learned that a physician assistant doesn't really spend a lot of time with their patients like nurses do. So I decided to shadow a couple people in nursing, and then at that time, my mom was in the healthcare field, so she persuaded me again to look into nursing. And so that's when I decided I think I'm going to try out nursing. And ever since then, I've been rocking with it.
Hey, that's great. So I guess how did you learn about your current position that you're in right now? Were there any like steps that led up to it or you just kind of searching for jobs and came upon it?
So I was a capstone student at the hospital that I'm at now. So I did my nursing capstone at Advent Health on the medical surgical unit. And after that, I was offered a position. So I took that and I started on nights working on the med surge unit. Did that for about 2.5 years. And then just recently in December, I switched to the progressive care unit, which is kind of deemed as the COVID unit of the hospital. So now I work with a lot of COVID patients. It's also technically a step down unit, it's a higher level of care. So I decided to make that change. And that was mainly because sometimes we float to different units that need help. And I was floated to PCU multiple times and just like the atmosphere a lot better. So I ended up going ahead and applying for that position. And ever since then, I've loved it.
Okay, awesome, awesome. So tell us a little bit about what a capstone is, because some of our students may not know like what that is or like what sort of classes or things you have to do as a nursing student.
So, capstone experience is very, very similar to an internship. You have a certain amount of hours that you have to complete in order to pass that capstone experience. You have a list of hospitals that you can choose, and you also have a list of the fields that you'd be interested in during your capstone. So, at that time, I chose medical surgical and did my capstone capstone at Advent Health, and I followed an RN around and did a lot of hands-on things with patients. My preceptor would come from school, and she would check in on me, make sure that I was doing good. And then we would talk about what I learned during that week. And then at the very end of capstone, we would all come together and talk about our experiences and what we could learn from them, what we can improve on. So it was very, very similar to an internship. And then after that, I was actually offered a job at Advent Health. So it is also a time to network and get to know your environment as well.
Okay, awesome. I think internships are definitely a great way to kind of like learn about that career before you
Mhm.
actually start. So that way you really know, like, okay, is this what I want to do? Definitely, take notes, students. Definitely want you to learn more about internships and get into those once you get to college. So like as a nursing student, there's always, things I hear and I get questions if it's really hard or difficult to be a nursing major and to be going through that sort of program. Could you talk a little bit about, I guess, your experience as a student?
Yes. So I actually applied to two schools during my nursing career. I actually did not get into nursing school the first time. And I was not discouraged after that. I can give you guys some advice in terms of if you don't get in the first time, it's not a big deal. You can always try again. And I'm a witness to that. All I did was I made an appointment with the dean and talked a little bit more about what I can improve on. She gave me a lot of advice. And then that next time around, I got in. As far as the nursing aspect, it requires a lot of dedication, a lot of studying. You have to love science and people. You're going to be dealing with a lot of different people. And that's the biggest thing is different cultures, ethnicities, you're going to experience that. So you have to learn how to deal with that. But nursing school, a lot of material. We went through a lot of different material. But the program is going to set you up for success. The day one, you should definitely start studying for NCLEX. And when you are out here searching for the nursing schools that you're interested in, look up the NCLEX pass rates. That's going to help you a lot because it kind of frames, okay, is this a good nursing school? Is their NCLEX pass rate good? Am I getting into this nursing school? And they're not really setting me up for success. So that's going to be a big indicator. Also, look at the type of prereqs that you guys need before you go in because there's a lot of nursing schools out here that require a lot of different things. There was a couple nursing schools that I was applying for that required like a foreign language. Um, Not necessarily I mean, it can be beneficial, but is it really beneficial for nursing? In my opinion, it can be, but is it going to help me get through nursing school? No. But can it help me out when I am, a nurse in the future? Yes. So just look at the prereqs that you need. Also, get some study aids that help you with the NCLEX. You can get that from Barnes and Nobles, Amazon, wherever. That helped me out a lot. The school that I actually went to provided those study aids for us. So that was really beneficial. So I didn't have to go out in my pocket and get more study aids for the NCLEX. So just look at those things when you're looking for nursing schools to apply for.
Okay, awesome, awesome. And remember, students, all of the students at college have an academic advisor that they can go to for help. Was that someone that helped you with like your searching for nurses process or nursing school process?
Yes, 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 yes. Academic advisor, I was always in their office, always. So definitely use your resources. There are also clubs that you can get involved with, like a pre-nursing club. I was a part of that, and that is a really big help. They will help you with your applications. They will do volunteer work. Another big piece of advice for high school students right now, if you are interested in nursing or anything in the medical field, I would definitely try and shadow. And I would also, especially nursing, try and get a CNA license or a CMA license and then work in a hospital that you're interested in. That is definitely going to help you out. I actually was not a CNA or a CMA before I started nursing school, and I think looking back, if I would have been a CNA or a CMA, it would have helped me out a lot. Easier transition out into the field, and then I would have just been able to recognize a lot more things that I wasn't able to recognize when I was transitioning.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's good. That's great advice for students because it's definitely the more you're prepared beforehand, like things are gonna go so much smoother. So like for sure, check websites. You can get most CNAs, which is the certified nursing assistant, those sorts of programs and certificates at like your local community college. So right here in town, you can go and get those there. So definitely look up that information, or ask your college advisor about where to find that information because we can help you find it if you don't know where to go. But kind of like transitioning into that and like your college experience, what other sort of clubs or organizations did you get involved in while you were in college that weren't nursing related?
So I was part of Black Student Union at K State and at KU, where I went. I was also part of the Baker University Student Council. I was treasurer and president, and we helped set up a lot of student activities. We fed the students, looked for speakers for the nursing clubs there. I did a lot of volunteer work, Boys and Girls Club, Jubilee Cafe in Lawrence, Kansas, just a lot of things. And then I'm also a member of Delta Sigma Theta Incorporated.
Awesome, awesome. Cool. Thank you so much for sharing about the clubs and organizations that you were involved in. So, what was something that you wish you would have known going into college, like going from high school to college? Like, what is something you wish you would have known about beforehand?
So, something I wish I would have known beforehand, I actually was a first generation college student. So, my parents did not go to college, unfortunately, but something that I wish I would have known big time is that college is a time for you to definitely network and get to know a lot of people. I was pretty shy during college, so I didn't get to really meet a lot of people. And I think that is actually definitely going to help you when you get out in your career field, is all of the connections and networking that you did in college. So the biggest thing that you can definitely do is get out there and meet people, learn about different cultures, ethnicities, and surprisingly, you'll learn a lot about yourself too while you're doing that. So that's the biggest advice.
Awesome, awesome. Well, thank you so much for taking the time out to talk with our students, talk with our students virtually and share your experiences as a nurse. Are there any just like final things that you want to add before we go?
Some final words. If you're definitely thinking about nursing, this is a great time. I know we're going through a pandemic, but you can be a nurse. Whatever you put your mind to, you can definitely do it. Even if you're not thinking about being a nurse, and just worried about what type of major you're going to major in college, whatever major you choose, just make sure that you love it and that you stick with it.
Awesome. Thank you so much. So for the students out there, make sure you were, taking notes. Feel free to go back and rewatch some parts that you want to know more about. Reach out to your college advisor if you have questions about nursing or like where the nursing majors are within the area, because not every college has nursing program. And yeah, those are the big things there. Thank you so much for joining us, and thank y'all for watching. See you later.